Howdy, partners. Welcome to Metaphiles. My name is Zac, the headphone kid Caffrey.
I'm Wrigley, Rawhide, Hawthorne.
And this here is the Rootin' Tootin' podcast that talks to you. And this week, by God, we're going to talk all about pottery.
Pottery barn is where I spend most of my time these days.
When you're not out there bucking the kiln, glazing things, it's only because you're out there checking the wares at the local depot.
I like this pot that this flower came in.
Yeah.
You sell it to me, madam?
Say there, Wrigley, did you notice the bulging curve of the lip of this mug? That's a nice one.
I think that'd be a nice touch.
Yeah. It'll be nice for when we're having our coffee grounds that we make in our cast iron skillet when we're out there on the range.
You keep your dirty hands off my gardenias.
Is a gardenia a type of tomato? No, it's
Beautiful.
a flower.
Beautiful flower.
I love an azalea. Iggy, that is. I love her. I'm gonna make her my bride.
Well, yee-haw!
Yo!
Westerns.
Westerns, we're talking westerns all hour this week. And who knows how long this voice goes on? Not the whole time.
I think we can do it though.
Uh-oh, Wrigley, are you alright? Are you coming down with rattler fever, Wrigley?
I got the typhoid.
WRH. The plague hit you.
My wife and kid died from the plague. It's typhoid fever.
You got one of them pox. We better do a pox cast.
I didn't save the game on
Oregon
Oregon
Trail.
Trail, and now I gotta live the rest of my life without my sweet, beautiful boy and wife.
I hate it when you beat a good boss that's real tough, but your game didn't save, and you gotta go collect all your guns again, and your swords, and your spells.
Has anybody seen a 6-shooter sitting around here somewhere?
I was just about ready to go and whoop old Ganondorf right on his behind, but my game didn't save. Mom, I can't come upstairs right now. I gotta get to a checkpoint, Ma.
You need to do your homework. It's late.
Oh, hell. What am I ever gonna use algebra for?
It's not X or Y cows, it's 100, 200 head of cattle.
200.
Hell.
That's as high as I'm ever gonna need to count. More than that, you got a stampede on your hands.
Oh!
Okay. And this is my voice too, sometimes also.
Anyways.
And we're talking westerns here.
Westerns, man, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well,
Yee-haw. Oh yeah. Striking your electronic match, as we call them. And sometimes I do sound like this, and it'll just happen, and sometimes it won't.
It's a subconscious reaction.
It's natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking westerns. We're talking westerns.
Well, let's get right into it. What's your favorite western?
My favorite thing the genre has ever accomplished, it's a very easy answer because it is such a cut above all the rest, even though all the rest is good too. The Gone Too Soon HBO series Deadwood. Finest example of Western art.
Technically not a western because a western is a movie.
No, we'll find out that a lot of different things are a Western.
Okay, sure.
And Deadwood, created by the great David Milch. 3 seasons, and then HBO said, we can't afford it anymore, even though we definitely could. We're going to go make Hung instead. And are we doing an episode about that? Hell no, we're not.
Hell no. But no, I mean, yeah, Deadwood was introduced to me by you, and it's really one of the best shows. I mean, it's honestly still my favorite show of all time. It really is. It's just absolutely incredible.
It's locked in an eternal battle, a duel, if you will, a shootout with the old Sopranos, or as you like to refer to it, Sopgunanos.
That's look at the
because
fucking...
the R is a gun. And I think had Deadwood been allowed to survive for its full lifespan, had it not been shot down in the thoroughfare like a dog.
Damn shame.
Yeah. Goddamn shame. I'd love to say a prayer for it if I knew any.
Like the preacher character. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's so good.
And him and all of them. And for anybody out there who hasn't seen it,
yeah,
get on it.
Okay, just fix your life. Watch Deadwood. Stop get a grip. Okay? Get a grip.
And also, if I may, get real.
Get real.
Get real. And get Deadwood in your head. Would? Yeah, please.
I'm taking a stand against all these cutouts.
What?
So we ain't gonna cut that out.
Oh, that was never in danger, Rawhide. I liked when I said that quite a bit. I felt like David Milch was smiling down on me from California, where he, I believe, lives, probably. Stands to reason.
Yeah.
Not dead, the Milch, but stricken with the Alzheimer's. Never to create another Deadwood, probably. Again, probably, maybe.
An awful detriment to us all, a loss to us all.
Yeah, and honestly, if David Milch could just, like, chew on my brain for a little while, and I get a little dumber, not so dumb that I can't continue to be the host of the Metaphiles, but a little dumber.
That'll never happen.
Yeah, we've hit that floor already.
Oh yeah, we've been there.
But it cures his Alzheimer's. I would say, pop this top off and
yeah,
you can have some of the gray goo for sure.
Gray mush. Right?
Gray mush. Forgive me. Coming from the lawnmower system, we all know from an earlier episode. I don't know which one. Handshakes.
Yeah. No, hey, how about that? A Catholic priest, father, but he's out west. He's like, I mean, I don't know. That'd be cool.
Oh, I thought there was gonna be something.
Not really.
What that would be like. You just would like it if...
Not really. Well, there's sort of a character like that in Blood Meridian, the Cormac McCarthy book, which is like, okay, so you see westerns, right? And it's like, oh man, that'd be so fucking cool to be in a posse, right?
Yeah.
to be a character in a posse and like you're just out there riding horses around, shooting at shit,
Yeah,
spitting a lot,
definitely.
and
Prime time for spitting.
yeah, it's anywhere you want, even in a bar, you just spit
Right on the floor.
right on the
And they
fucking
just,
floor, and like
somebody just drops some sawdust on it. Little sawdust, pixie dust.
like Texas Roadhouse with peanuts and shit.
Yeah.
Same thing. And yeah, it would be cool.
It would be nice to be just a guy in the posse. You don't want to be the head guy who the sheriff's looking for,
Right.
because that guy's going to get his hat blown right off from a bullet blowing it off.
But point is, you wouldn't want to be a character in Blood Meridian because that examines the true brutality of the period.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, embodied by the judge. You know, this force of nature, brutal, absolute. Yeah.
Order in the Wild West.
Something like that. Yeah. Well, I mean, shit. I mean, what a movie.
Well, Jay, give me your favorite westerns, please.
I got 3.
3.
So
Deadwood Season 1. Deadwood Season 2. Deadwood Season 3.
Not a movie. So.
Not a movie like Cormac McCarthy's novel.
Fuck you.
Nope.
What?
It got lodged in the Bible that I keep there. I have 13 Bibles strapped to my chest.
What a trope. 13. Okay.
Yep, not an unlucky number for me.
Well, my favorite Western of all time would be.
Well, let's go. Coming in at number 3.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, so it's a modern movie. It's a modern Western. Hell or High Water. It stars Ben Foster, who's an amazing actor. He's fucking incredible in everything he's in. Taylor Sheridan wrote it. Great fucking writer. Very good. It's set in Texas, and it's just a couple brothers robbing banks to pay off a bank to keep their
Robin
land.
Banks is in it?
One of his best roles. Also has Jeff Bridges. Well, I'm a Texas Ranger.
Yeah,
I'm a Jeff Bridges.
how he talks when he's in a Western.
Yeah. He's got like 2 modes, wouldn't you reckon?
Yep. I would reckon that. He's either the dude or he's this guy. And what if the dude was in a Western? Then he'd say, well, that's just like your opinion, man. That's Jeff Bridges' best role.
That's hilarious.
Army got a white Russian.
We're gonna kill that poor girl. Yeah, great movie. Second one would be probably Rio Bravo or El Dorado. Those are 2 movies from the same director, Howard Hawks, and they're kind of like the same movie. You know, same setup, right? You got the put upon sheriff, you got the drunk character, you got the comic relief character, and they're just kind of hangout movies, and they're really fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just fun, and they're like just like
No, horse.
Well, they're
Horse noise.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
They're trope. I mean, they're full of tropes. They're just classic Western movies, but
Sure.
they're hangout movies, and they're just like fun to watch.
The Western is a trope-filled genre.
It's practically the whole point, really, which is why people reacted so much to the Sergio Leone shit, which personally I don't like at all. Like, I've watched, like all but a couple of those, and I mean, Once Upon a Time in the West is the best one for me,
That's a great one.
and so it was good, but give me the old classic American, same thing every fucking time Western.
You don't want a spaghetti Western, you want a baked beans Western.
Steak and potato western, yeah.
Sure.
Which leads me to my number one western, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Which would be the Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. The other two being the middle two. You said top three, but you named 4 movies.
Well, no, El Dorado and Rio Bravo.
Oh, they're
the
tied.
same. It's the same fucking movie. It really is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. Neither one
So,
gets to have the slot.
They're tied for second.
Those both being John Wayne, correct?
Yeah.
And I will reveal here on Westerns episode, and people will say, "Oh, he does deserve to talk about this." I have never seen a John Wayne movie.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Hard to believe.
It's the truth. I gain nothing by saying it. That's how you know it's the truth. Here's another thing I gain nothing by saying, and so you know it's the truth. I have a degree in quantum physics. I gain nothing by saying that. So therefore it is the truth.
Okay.
Ask me anything about quantum physics.
Hey, what are quantum physics?
Well, it'd take a lot of explaining. But basically, they're physics, but they're on a quantum level.
I ain't never heard about nothing like that. Let's see if there's something like that on the fact tube.
Yep,
I'll
just
be
like I
damned.
said it.
How about that?
Here you go, WRH. Yeah, never seen a Wayne film.
It is really weird. Yeah. I mean, he's the same fucking character in all of his movies.
Yeah.
So.
There's never one where he's the black hat. Ever, right? He's always the white hat.
He actually, like, contractually, that was, like, basically in his contract. He was like, I have to be a morally correct character in all my movies, or else I'm not going to be in it. That literally was, like, his thing. Which is, bless his heart. Old John. Old Duke.
Old as shit, John.
Yeah. He has his little friend Walter Brennan. Well, Duke, what are we going to do? That guy.
Sure. You gotta have that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know a guy like that in real life, so you gotta have that guy in a movie.
Yeah.
Like, just
Well, you gotta record your podcast. Well, I don't know. We might have technical difficulties. It might be a little bit hard. We're gonna record it anyways. It's pretty good John Wayne, right?
very good John Wayne, and also by doing a good John Wayne, it's a double impression because you also did a very good Kurt Russell impression too.
Also, I don't know why I'm asking you if it's a good John Wayne impression. You've never fucking seen him.
No, I have heard the impression of him more than I've ever actually heard him speak. So I know it's good based on other impressions of him I've heard.
Possibly more accurate. Could be argued. Could be argued.
That the people who are impersonating him sound more like him because he wasn't really doing him all the time.
What do you got? The essence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The essence.
The essence of Wayne.
Why didn't people talk like that in spaghetti westerns? You gotta draw your gun and we're gonna have a shootout.
I think it's because they mostly starred Clint Eastwood, and I don't think he can do accents. I don't even think he has the range of a Jeff Bridges.
No, he doesn't. Are you feeling lucky? Draw your weapon. I don't know if I've shot all of my bullets in my gun. I'm a dirty Harry. I'm obsessed with the catching criminals.
I'm a Western character in San Francisco.
I think you are cheating at cards.
Here's something, Jay. We sometimes like to predict, or something will be said on the show, and one of us will say, well, that's the title of the episode, and sometimes we're right, and sometimes we're not. Clint Eastwood in Sergio Leone's Fistful of Dollars trilogy is the man with no name. Should this be the podcast with no name and there's just is nothing there?
Ooh.
We don't have to decide right away, but
I don't know.
Okay, well, we can go back to that. And I'd like to go back to what was the guy who... I'm this guy. Not that guy, but...
Not the Rust Pole.
Not the Rust Pole. / Evie Farnham of Deadwood, who it can be revealed as who the Rust Pole's voice is based on.
Yeah.
For E.B. is but a worm, forced to slave under Swearengen's command. Ding me again, Swearingen, you cocksucker. No, Walter Brennan, he's that guy in that movie, in all those movies.
Oh, yeah.
What's the guy that you want to be in those movies? If you are in a Western, you can pick any role. You can be the sheriff, you can be the head of the posse, you can be the Walter Brennan type.
There's always a guy in the posse who's like the main villain, like this character is his right hand, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He's like the mysterious co-bad guy, co-villain.
Yeah.
Right.
The one you imagine is capable of the most danger.
Yeah, and you're like, ooh. He's like mysterious and stuff. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And he gets played up the whole movie, and maybe does a couple cool things here along the way.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh man, this guy fucks.
Yeah.
And and then he just gets killed like that, like just, and you're like, oh well, he's dead. Oh fuck, like that's a great character. I would be that character.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You maybe don't even speak, but you say more by not speaking.
Yeah, and the audience is just waiting for him to do something cool, and he does some cool stuff.
Yeah,
and you're
like
oh.
the posse's they're at a saloon, and they're just carousing, but you're just sitting there quietly, smoking a cigarello, and somebody knocks your drink over, and you just give them a look, and that guy runs out of the bar and tumbles and falls face first into a big pile of poop.
And then he goes, "He fell in poop."
Your guy does that?
Yeah.
And he's no longer
like,
mysterious.
That went weird. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's a good one for you. The brooding.
That's the coolest character. I mean, bad guys are the coolest character in any Western.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you'd be the right-hand man of the main guy. I'd want to be the left-hand man who's like the wormy sycophant guy. Who's always just kind of agreeing with the guy. He's like, yeah, you got that right, Chet. You tell him. That guy. I want to be the cackly guy.
The cackly guy.
Yeah, the cackly little wormy snaky guy.
That's great.
I don't think he heard you right, Chet. You better tell him again.
Exactly.
That guy. I think I'm made to play that guy.
Weasley, wiry.
Yeah.
Maybe the fuck boy of the posse, if you will.
The yuck boy of it, certainly. Because he loves to laugh.
Yeah.
And he's got a really good sense of humor. That's why he's laughing about everything.
True.
And then our two characters, when there is not, some stuff going on, they go off and they do what was the equivalent of a podcast back then.
Sure.
Which is just that they sit at a table in the back of the saloon and they're like, well, I think this week we're going to talk about gold nuggets, aren't we?
Gold nuggets.
Why gold nuggets? Chet's not here for me to agree with him about why, so we got to figure it out for ourselves.
I just don't say anything the whole time. Like, what the fuck is this?
Well, anyway, I guess it's not time for layer players. Layer players.
Why don't you shut up for once in your damn life?
He finally spoke. Episode 25 of the what's our show called?
Shoot people because of cows show.
Yeah.
Welcome to Layer Players, y'all. Part of the podcast where I talk about podcasts might be better than this podcast. So, okay, Mystery Science Theater 3000. classic show.
Sure.
They play old movies, usually sci-fi movies, and they dub the voices over them.
They razz them.
They razz.
They give them what for.
That's right.
Comedically.
And they just dub their voices over it to comedic effect. Okay. And this one, so it'd be called the Clopcast, like horrors, like that, right? And it would dub over Western movies. Each week it'd dub over a different Western movie, but it wouldn't dub over the humans in the movie, the cowboys and stuff. It'd dub over the horses what they might be thinking. Right.
Like it.
Yeah, so like picture a shootout, everybody's on horseback and they're riding around. Dust is kicking up and stuff, and they're over the shoulder. Yeah. And, you know, just so it would be the horses, though. Like, oh my God, why are they so mad? I'm so sorry about this. I'm so fucking embarrassed. I don't know why we're out here. This is so embarrassing. Oh, are you okay? Oh my. Oh,
this is not even the area that I would have ridden out to if it was just me.
There's nothing even out here. I can't even eat the grass out here. They just wanted to come out here and shoot each other. Oh, they shot you. They're not supposed to shoot us. What the hell is happening? Why are they so mad? I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna step on your guy if I get a chance. I promise.
Yeah, let's step on these motherfuckers when they fall off of us. Hopefully, I don't know who's gonna just saddle off of me, but hopefully we can just get the fuck out of here. This is fucking awful. You know? So just dub over the horses what they might be thinking. Like, my guy, he tied me up outside of a bar. He went inside and said some dumb shit. You know what they said? They said, fuck him and me. Like, I don't even have a voice box. Like, what did I do? I'm a horse.
I'm getting fucked.
Fuck him and me. Like, he tied me out here up on the post, and I just can't move, and he gave us this disgusting box of water. Like, this is so gross. Like, a straw maybe at least.
Didn't even have the decency to tie me up facing this street where I got something to look at.
I just can't. I can't
staring
look
at this wall.
It's such bullshit. I'm not okay with anything that's happening. What? Who gives a shit if a bunch of cattle got stolen by some motherfucker? At the same time, fuck cattle. Fuck cows. Oh, I get to stand around outside all day and I don't have a jackass riding me around. Must be so fucking nice. God, fucking cows.
The cowboy doesn't ride on a cow. Did they ever even try?
Cows, cows, you can't, they just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get very far on a cow. You wouldn't get anywhere too fast.
Because they are traditionally slow moving. A cow does not gallop.
They don't gallop. They don't respond to coercion. And they won't move on the behest of some fucking guy.
Yeah.
You know,
a spur to the haunch isn't going to mean much to them.
Yeah, they're just But that would be hilarious if it's like a comedic cowboy movie. One of the characters is just on a cow. It's never addressed. They're just riding a cow.
Yeah. A spotted classic milking cow.
Yeah, old Trigger. They're like, well, we're here. We're going to have to wait a day before we rob the bank because old Guts McConnell is riding a cow. He's not going to be here.
Sorry, fellas. There's a lot of grass between here and Fort Worth.
So, yeah, I mean, think about it. Clopcast, dubbing over horses what they might be thinking in all these westerns.
Yeah.
They're watching all these dramas unfold, and they're just like, what are these people doing? Yeah.
But like, I'm really making that noise because I'm bored.
Yeah.
Speaking of horses.
Sure.
This is not horse episode, but
well, I mean, it's intrinsically linked, of course. Yeah.
You ever ridden on a bucking bronco? They're Rawhide.
Yeah, a little bit. I grew up in Florida, and like people think of beaches and shit like that about Florida, but actually where I was from, there's a lot of rural areas, and I grew up in the county with like, I'm pretty sure it was like the biggest cow pasture in Florida, and so there's a lot of cows, there's a lot of rural shit, and I did ride some horses when I was young, and I think I was part of 4-H. I was homeschooled, and I was part of 4-H.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
What do the H's stand for? Because we had 4-H in my town, and I never knew.
Yeah. Holy cow. Hell yeah. Maybe something like that.
Holy cow, hell yeah.
I think that's probably it. Maybe.
Seems about right.
How hard.
Hugh, how are you today?
Just something like that, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know what the 4-H stand for. I don't.
Yeah.
I should. But anyways, yeah, I did ride around on a couple horses from time to time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nothing crazy. Some calm horses, ride around in circles. Take it or leave it. Give me a car, give me a motorcycle. That's me. What about you?
I rode one horse one time out in Wyoming, and we were out on the plains, Rawhide. We were out there where you could see for miles, heading up to a ridge. And we got to that ridge, and we saw there's this big storm coming in.
I'm picturing it.
Yeah.
Right now.
It was coming. It was coming with a quickness.
Mm.
And the person I was riding with said, well, we should definitely get back down before the storm hits. And I was feeling like I'm in a fucking Western right now. This is awesome. And we were riding back down, and the person I was riding with said, why don't you reach into your side saddle there, grab what's in there. And I reach in.
This is some chewing tobacco?
Nope. Better.
A 6-shooter?
Yeah, and only one of us made it back down. I'm revealing it here on Metaphiles 25. No, it was a crisp, cool can of brewski.
Mm-hmm.
And I look, and I was drinking beer, riding this horse down the ridge as the storm was chasing us. It was fucking awesome. One of the coolest moments in my life.
That's legit. Yeah.
And that's probably as close as I'll ever be to living in the real Wild West, probably, barring any kind of Back to the Future 3 type thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, you have 13 Bibles as armor protecting you. Back to the Future 3 had the whole stove cover door thing. So
that's silly. Bibles are free at every hotel. Instant Kevlar. Just stay at a bunch of hotels.
Calling the SWAT team. He's wearing Bibles. We can't stop him. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool as shit, man. I'm jealous of that. I mean, I don't know how many. A very small percentage of the population could even have had that experience at all. So
yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. And I'm one of the few, the proud, the guys who drank a beer on a horse. And we'll be right goddamn back. Hey out there, all you cattle rustlers. We're back here on Metaphiles. This is segment 2. This is all about westerns in the whole goddamn world.
Out there beyond the horizon.
Out there somewhere. That's from a Western about a little mouse.
Hey, what's a Western?
Hey, what is that?
What's a film? Moving picture, I don't know what that is. Yeah, and it's like, right off the bat, it's like, so you have, obviously Westerns are American things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got spaghetti Westerns.
Uh-huh.
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Personally not a fucking fan.
Of spaghetti?
I love spaghetti. But not spaghetti Westerns.
Yeah.
To be honest. But aside from that, it's like, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty sure about that?
No, but
How much you willing to wager there, hotshot?
I'll wager about 20 head of cattle, I reckon. About 20 head.
Rawhide, you're dead wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
let's
sorry.
just jump in right there.
Jeez. Hey, how about a Western movie directed by Woody Allen? I'm trying to have a ranch, but they're stealing the water isn't coming. I can't. The cows are gonna die.
I wanna. The word cocksucker is so linked to Westerns for me because it's said in Deadwood all the time. Yeah. Deadwood has a beautiful mix of pure Shakespearean poetry intermingled with just pure filth, and that's the beauty of that. So I want to do something as Woody Allen where he says some cocksucker, but I just don't really think that's a good idea. So sorry that you now have to just do that in your brains, listeners, but
we can do it.
So we'll jump in right there.
Sure.
And then we'll go back for a little history. But here are some other names for Westerns around the world that are akin to the spaghetti Western. And these are all stereotypes of the kinds of things that a person in a place might eat. But I didn't come up with any of these. These are just what they're called.
Okay.
So you got your spaghetti Western.
Fish and chips Western? Huh?
No.
Goulash Western?
Well, here I am out in Montana. And boy, are my arms tired from all the whipping of the cattle. And do you have any whiskey?
You might be the sheriff, I believe. I demand satisfaction. Is there anywhere I can spit in this bar? I'm terribly sorry to exhibit such brutish behavior.
I'm salivating like wild. Do you or any of your posse? We've got Jay, the ramen Western. We've got the chili Western.
Okay.
We've got the curry Western. We've got the meat pie Western.
Wow.
Australia.
Wow.
Australians like making Westerns. Nick Cave wrote one called Proposition. Pretty good.
Australian Westerns.
Yeah. They got that kind of stuff out there.
Hey mate, you stolen like, I don't know, 50 cattle from my ranch here out here in the outback, and I'm gonna have to shoot you, and I'm gonna talk to the sheriff, but he didn't really do much, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, it's me, the sheriff. What's going on around here then?
Well, anyways, shrimp on the barbie, and
Is someone being not red?
It's Australian Western. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the West out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, shit, that's the most Western, non-Western country you're going to find,
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah.
Really? Outback. Yeah.
Crocodile D, if he just like rode around on a horse.
It's not a 6-shooter. He's a 6-shooter.
Yeah.
That works.
Also, I did want to say, I just wanted to jump back to the idea of cowboys in Florida. Like the idea that in Florida, a cowboy could be out there rustling and then go surfing in the evening. He gets both.
Beautiful.
And he's out there. Cowboy surfing. Spits tobacco into the ocean.
Or also, alternatively, he's 80 years old and he's doing quick draw shuffleboard. I don't know.
It's gonna be pistols at dawn, and then I got bocce ball at 3. So
Can't be any later than 4 o'clock. That's the early bird special.
So this is a pretty good one. The history of westerns on film begins before film, and begins actually when the Wild West was still happening.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna head you off at the pass here.
Please do.
That recalls another great Western movie, the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. A blight upon the Ford name, I may say. And so that's, you know, but you know,
with Brad Pitt and Casey Affleck.
Yep, and Casey Affleck does
phenomenal.
It's a great fucking movie. But yeah, after he killed Jesse James, he went on. Didn't go on the road. He did shows portraying how it happened. Yes. So that's am I warm there?
You are actually as hot as a freshly fired tip of a gun that you should blow on the microphone because you made such a good point. Yeah.
It's like quick draw microphone, like, hello, funny joke. Boom, like faster, like you laughed so fast. Kind of like that.
Yeah, and we do have the fastest microphones in the West.
We got the fastest yucks in the West.
We got the fastest yucks.
You're damn right.
Absolutely. We fire off 6 yucks before other people even draw.
Typically.
You're exactly right. And your veteran gun hands would join these shows. Wild Bill of Deadwood fame, for me.
No.
He was in one of these stage shows, but they got mad at him because he would sometimes shoot out the spotlight because he didn't like being on stage much. So he got fired pretty quick.
He forgets his lines like, well, then you should... Oh, hell. Just shoots out a fucking light. Show's over, go home.
So he got replaced by the person who was trying to put him on by old Buffalo Bill Cody. Buffalo Bill liked doing it so much he developed his own traveling show called Buffalo Bill's Wild West. This was in 1883.
I'm seeing a theme here.
Of bills.
And both bills are like, and any other was like, did they all just do shows and that's why they became famous as these huge gunslingers?
Well,
maybe they were never even gunslingers.
In Deadwood, which is semi-historically accurate, Wild Bill is looked at as like a hack by some people in the town. They are like, he's constantly being drawn on by drunks because they're like, he's not the real deal, and they don't know the reason he got on stage and shot out spotlights is because he was so the real deal.
And they're like behind him, and they're like, he's not the real deal, and he's just like, boom, boom, just like not even looking.
Yeah. And then he says to the bartender, that man meant me harm. And the bartender just must accept that. And that's how it was.
Mm-hmm.
If I ever wanted to cut you all the way out of the podcast, all I would have to say is, Jay meant me harm.
I'm just gone.
You're gone.
I'm just gone.
It's half a black screen, and I'm responding to you, but nobody ever gets to hear anything you say.
I agree with everything you say.
But so that was happening in 1883. Now the time at which we would consider
500 years ago.
to be, it was 500 years ago, before there even were Western movies.
Yeah.
But generally, the time that is considered to be the Wild West is from 1865 to 1895. So in the 1880s, people were already capitalizing on how much people liked what was going on then, still.
They were still alive.
Yeah. People in 1883 were like, this is going to someday be known as the Wild West, and we love it. Can we pay money to watch it?
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about that last part. But so then, old Tommy Eddy, Thomas
This motherfucker.
Alba
You know,
Edison.
if I may,
You may.
he was
Ooh.
kind of a shitheel, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what you're about to say, but already I could tell. And then the Tesla shit that he pulled,
Yeah.
he's kind of a fuck boy. He's kind of a little shitheel, to be honest.
Thomas Fuckboy Edison.
There you go.
He
If I saw him in the street,
was so obsessed with besting Tesla that he would try to turn elephants into electric cars, and that you cannot do that. He would.
might be a good idea.
It's not.
Kind of cool.
He would scoop out the elephant, turn it, put a
You're
door on the
joking.
side of it. No,
That's not
he
real.
wanted to create the electric car before Tesla got to.
Out of an elephant?
You've heard of the Tesla, the electric car?
Yeah.
Edison was like, I got a better idea for that. Let's do it with an elephant.
You're shitting me. You know what? I don't take that
Oh.
shit from nobody.
I only got 11 Bibles left.
Damn it.
So, no, I mean, look, Tommy Eddy, bad guy.
Little fucking shit. That's what he was.
But here's what he did in 1894.
I'm gonna fly a kite and put a key on it. Ugh.
Idiot. Sorry. Hey, you know what? Thomas Legason. That's this guy's name. Little shitty spider. 8 legs. Thomas Legason. That's our prop. You could draw 8 6-shooters. Blink of an eye.
Ooh. That's 6 times 8 is so many.
That's like 500. That's like 100 checkers fries.
It's like how long ago the Wild West was.
Yeah.
In 1894, Tommy Eddy created a film studio back when they were just starting to figure that shit out.
Oh.
And he started filming things. And one of the things that he filmed was Annie Oakley shooting coins out of the air. Her husband would toss up a coin and she shot it right out of the air.
Get the
Yeah. She was another person who was definitely on all these stage shows. She was like a trick shooter.
That's one hell of a fucking trick.
Yeah.
Shit. That's...
I can barely catch a coin that I flip. If I'm flipping heads or tails, I don't always get it.
Yeah. I mean, shot plenty of guns in my life. I can't imagine shooting a fucking coin out of the air. That's... yeah.
And also, a coin back then worth a lot of money.
Hell yeah. I don't even know.
But so that was filmed in 1894. That is generally considered to be the first time that anything of Western culture was put to film. Right? So Edison gets obsessed with this Western stuff because he's Tommy Eddy. Got nothing cool going on, really.
Mm-hmm.
So he starts making documentary footage of Western towns, railway stations, things like that. Does a short where some guys are fighting at a poker table, knock their drinks over. Real thing that happened. Real thing that happens in Westerns. Really did happen.
Hell, happened to me last Friday.
Then in 1903, he is the producer of The Great Train Robbery, directed by Edwin S. Porter, the first ever feature-length Western narrative film. 1903. Only 8 years after the Wild West was over, people already were Western fans.
Well, I mean, the word untamed gets thrown around a lot around these parts.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good word for it. You know, you got all this huge expanse of land that people are just laying stake to however which way they fucking can, even if that means shooting a motherfucker. Alright. So, pretty cool. It is pretty cool.
Yeah. And,
I don't know if there's another analog in history to it, really.
well, there was the Mild East.
It's not the Wild West. It's the pretty mundane East.
Yeah, the calm East, which was untamed in its own way.
Untamed monotony.
Yeah. Just a lot of people quietly reading a newspaper.
Yeah. Harrowing.
Yes. So then, from then until 1927, the silent film era, Westerns very popular. Then in 1928, with the inclusion of sound to film, Hollywood said, we don't want any more Westerns, which is weird to me because they didn't want this sound.
Yeah.
They didn't want... They didn't want that, but they didn't want it. So then throughout the 30s, indie film studios were making Westerns, and by the end of the 30s, it was considered to be like a pulp genre. People didn't respect it. But that is also when a lot of like major kind of characters and things were created. And the 40s and the 50s is considered the golden age.
Yeah.
The ones that you talked about exist within
Well,
this.
I mean, look at Marvel movies today and comic book movies and stuff like that these days.
I see. I didn't bring this up.
Oh my god. It's just like I don't want to ever bring up a fucking Marvel shit.
But you just did
I
it.
know. I was just like going with it and like.
Well, what do you got?
No, I was just saying like back then Western movies were like the Marvel movies, like they were like it's released in the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it dominates the box office. Like so many fucking Westerns,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
An oversaturation.
Oversaturation.
And I can acknowledge that there's an oversaturation of comic book media.
Well, there's a little bit too much oversaturation happening around here.
I could use a few yet less Batmen and a few more cowmen, personally.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, well, I didn't know that in the 30s they were considered like schlock and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's, huh.
They were, but then in the 40s through the 50s, it was back. That's considered the golden age. This culminates in 1949 with, among others, John Ford's film Stagecoach, the breakout performance of a Mr.
The Duke.
Jean.
Stop that stagecoach. I'm breaking out in my film career.
And I bet that I am too. Nope. That was E.B., not Walter Brennan. Hard
Really?
to...
You stop the stagecoach, you Duke.
There you go.
Kind of like that. Yeah, I mean, you can't mention Westerns without
Certainly not.
John Wayne. You can't.
Certainly not. You also can't mention Impressions without John Wayne probably coming up.
Probably, maybe the most impersonated guy in history.
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Him or Nicholson. Or maybe, or maybe it's me. I'm up there too, definitely.
Don Knotts.
No. No, it's me, Jimmy Stewart from The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. You cocksucker, you got it wrong.
I've never realized how close Don Knotts and Jimmy Stewart are until this episode. It's so funny.
Yeah, if you just key up Jimmy Stewart a little more.
Yeah. Don Knotts is Jimmy Stewart on crack. Jimmy Stewart is Don Knotts sober.
Also at this time, TV is taking to the Western.
Mm-hmm.
The beginnings of Deadwood.
Uh-huh.
In 1959, lots of movies from the 40s to 50s golden age of Westerns, characters from the movies got spin-off TV shows, which I didn't fully look into this, but maybe that's the beginning of spin-offs. I don't know.
I would think so. Yeah.
We'll have to... Spin-offs, I feel like, is its own episode.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
At one point in 1959, when there were only 3 channels, ABC, CBS, NBC, those were your only options. Can you imagine not having MTV2? Can you imagine? 3 channels, 1959, 26 Western shows on prime time.
With 3 channels?
With 3 channels.
You gotta be shitting me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Then in the 60s and 70s, as happened with everything in Hollywood, weirdos start creeping in and start taking the Western and making it weird and getting kooky with it.
Fucking hippies.
And we developed something literally called the acid Western.
Get out, really?
Hippies like Dennis Hopper were getting involved and stuff like that. And from there we get to El Topo and everything else.
Man, El Topo is super cool. It really shits the bed in the 3rd act, but before
It's
that,
kind
super
of
cool.
like in a constant process of shitting the bed the entire time, but it...
Yeah. Well, the middle segment where he's meeting all the different gun shooters, that's so cool.
Yeah. And we get to craziness like that, where things are genre bendy, playing on the mythology of the Western, of these vistas and these archetypes and this larger than life thing that the Western is.
Self-referential meta as well, if you will.
One could perhaps call it meta.
Hell, I reckon they could.
Yeah. And at the same time, there is the Western in literature. And that begins in the 1870s in the United Kingdom, as a matter of fact.
Get the fuck out of
with
here. Really?
a thing that were called penny dreadfuls, also known as penny horribles, penny awfuls, and penny bloodies.
Okay, so let me let me get real for a second. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so the exception here is the music, but aside from that, every bit of like British media, I can always instantly tell if it's British.
Oh, I bet I know how.
How?
Well, because of this, mate. Because they're talking like this, aren't they? I'm tricking ya. I'm from America, aren't I? You want to read a bloody awful penny dreadful, mate? I'm from America.
This is my ranch. You have to get off of it or I'm going to shoot you in a shootout.
Bloody love horses, don't I?
Fucking hate him.
I'm from New Hampshire.
No, really, it always has this corniness to it. It has its own brand of like corny flavor, all the British media, and I just can't stand it. And I don't know, I can always detect it instantly. And to do some kind of Western theme media and decide to call it Penny Dreadfuls is like fucking epitome of it.
Okay. First of all, I cannot co-sign on your dislike of British media.
You should, and everybody else should.
But Penny Dreadful was a type of like magazine that would be distributed that would have little pulp stories in it.
Doesn't change my...
And they happen to have some westerns in them. They also had like detective stories
even
and stuff
proves
like
my
that.
point more.
Okay.
Here we're like, well, it's pulp fiction. Pulp, just shitty pulpy paper.
It's pulp
just
fiction in it.
And they're like, oh, it's a Penny Dreadful. Yeah, like
This one's got oils in it.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like...
I think you're getting hot against the British But it's kind of appropriate here on the Western episode where
British showed up.
you got your white hats in Westerns, they're the good guys. You got your black hats in Westerns, they're the bad guys. Then you got your powdered wigs, they're the British guys.
Yeah.
White hat, black hat, powdered wig.
Yeah.
The Penny Dreadful, Jay, in the 19th century in the UK, was considered to be the first mass-produced pop culture.
Interesting.
And you gotta give it that.
Well, okay.
And it made little English lads and lasses so happy to be reading about these Americans in a place where they drink whiskey instead of tea and such.
I so love the cowboys. They drink whiskey instead of tea.
Mummy, can I have a revolver? I've been ever so good. And then by the 1900s, American novelists get on it. And, there's, of course, also radio theater and all these other things. The Western is a genre that is cross-platform, cross-continental, beloved by all, allowed by me to British people. You can like it, it's fine. Western films and samurai films constantly influencing each other in their nascent stages. Many samurai films are ripped off directly from Westerns and vice versa.
Like Yojimbo, or I'm sorry. Well, yeah, Yojimbo.
Yojimbo is
Zitoichi.
A Fistful of Dollars is directly lifted from Yojimbo.
Yeah.
Magnificent Seven is lifted from Seven Samurai.
Mm-hmm.
But also Akira Kurosawa was
Kurosawa,
lifting. But he was also lifting right back. They were feeding each other.
Sure.
Just Italians and Japanese just trading off what they think American Wild West was.
So funny. Noodles, Probably something to do with the noodles.
Probably.
They both had noodles.
Yeah. And in terms of Akira Kurosawa and Sergio Leone, boy, they both had good noodles for making films.
Like their heads, like noodles.
Yeah.
Reckon that'll get a ding.
And just in case, give a real ding that I can lay in the sound.
Fastest ding in the West.
Gotta get it clean.
Oh.
Now that has to stay in, but we do need one that's clean.
Pretty rich, interesting history, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, especially that motherfucker Edison was all on that shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tommy Eddy.
I guess it's
not the worst thing he ever did.
Right. I guess so. All right.
If anything, if you're a big fan of elephants, Tommy Eddy making the Western so popular leads to more horses than elephants being in trouble. That's not a great...
Yeah.
But...
That's true.
It probably distracted him from just...
constantly murdering elephants.
Yeah. Which up to that point, I think he was just...
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Just stabbing every elephant he saw.
Well, I'm picturing you got a 9-volt battery. Mm-hmm. So you're like, oh, let's see if there's still some juice in it. Yeah, give it a lick. He's like, I don't know if this battery is empty. Let's plug it into this elephant, put all the current into the elephant, and see if it dies. Yeah. All right, it died. All right, put it in the flashlight.
Did you ever do with the battery, 9-volt battery shocks your tongue?
For fun.
I never have done it ever.
Really?
Yeah.
It feels good.
It feels good.
Yeah, it's a fun little, fun little zap.
I've been missing out, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think you should try it.
Well,
it's not exactly Kung Pao chicken, but it's pretty good.
Well, hell, I'm gonna go try it right now, and I reckon we'll be right back. HYAW! Segment 3 here on Metaphiles Podcast, episode 25, Westerns, where we must ask the question to God and all his counterparts, why Westerns? Why?
Why are we out here on these plains rustling this cattle?
Why in the name of hell do we still want to envision and immerse ourselves in this other time, this foregone moment in history when there was all this unrest, this chaos in the thoroughfare? Why?
Hell, I reckon it's a little taste of freedom for folks that have been drawn into a life they think they're on the wagon hitched to a star going in one direction. They'd rather be out there on the open plain.
Being pulled somewhere instead of taking the reins themselves, heading in
Saddling
their
up,
own damn direction.
saddling up in their own damn direction, that's right. Out there, Wild West. Hell.
I think that is truly what it is.
The freedom.
It's
Yeah.
it's a freedom. It's a simpler time.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of almost like a cliche way to put it, but it is just what it is. I would not want to live in the Wild West. I don't think I would do great there unless I managed to hook up with a guy who I can just agree with and laugh at.
Be part of his posse and you're just, yeah.
But
True.
it would just be nice to just wake up and stare out and drink your coffee real slow, and there's nothing to do all day and nothing expected of you, but just to live.
Well, in
Just
such
to goddamn exist.
in such a setting, I mean, what is there that is even brought to your attention? What is even available to your consciousness when you're out there in the fucking Wild West? You got a house made of fucking wood. Okay? You don't have utilities, you don't have rents. You built it and it's just there and it's your shelter.
Yeah.
And all around you got this open space and you got 20 head of cattle, right? And they give you like milk and shit like that, and like you sell them.
Yeah.
You
can hop up on their back even though they're not going to really take you anywhere.
They're not going to like it too much.
You
You're
can
not
still
gonna
sit up there.
They're just going to be like, all right, if you just sit up there, okay, have fun, buddy. Kill one of them, make a bunch of steaks. All right, so it's just like, I don't know. All I'm saying is
And
like,
a coat.
They're sure.
We know how that works now. Leather. We figured it out on a previous episode.
That's right, leather t-shirts. We're going to do that. We have to do that. But there's just like maybe the tasks that one in such a world has to complete in order for things to continue and go well and survive.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're a bit harder, to put it lightly, than the tasks that we as modern people have to complete.
Yeah.
In order to get our room and board and a roof overhead and shit like that. But at least you knew that you just had to do it, and you could just saddle up and fucking do it.
And of the numerous tropes
cool.
and types of stories that there are in the Western,
Yeah.
a major one, certainly the long arc of Deadwood, but of many Westerns, is modern society, quote unquote civilization, coming at the Western town, invading it, taking it over whether it wants it or not.
Can't stand in the way of progress.
Yes. And the fight within the Western identity of trying to maintain simplicity and freedom, keeping that tax man out.
The Federals. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh.
you do just want to be free.
Yeah.
But sometimes a man won't let you. And I like to watch a Western and think, these guys aren't paying rent.
Seriously.
No, they are, but it's just as simple as flipping a coin onto the top of the bar.
Well,
That's your rent.
To this day, I say fuck the feds.
Yeah.
I put that on air. I hope they're listening.
Okay.
Fuck the feds.
Okay.
All of them. But anyways, I don't want to go on a tangent. Anyways.
It's this like... And look, I'm going to make it comic books for just half a second to come back. Oh, I've got, I think, 10 Bibles left.
God damn it.
Modern mythology. Stories that carry their own inherent kind of symbolism and poetry and romanticism. The Western is romantic. The idea that your John Wayne white hat, he's a good guy because he's wearing a white hat, and he's never going to not be a good guy.
Yeah.
That's mythology. It's archetypes. It's tropes. It's a refillable vessel where you mentioned even in the first one that those two movies are the same movie. They're both one of your favorite movies because to quote Jim Jarmusch, great filmmaker, made a great Western called Dead Man, one of my favorite Westerns and movies. He said there are a finite number of stories, but there is an infinite number of ways to tell them. And the Western is such a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
You've got your sheriff, you've got your bad black hat, you got your Walter Brennan guy, he's there for sure. But you do it differently every time.
Westerns are perhaps one of the best examples of that. Because it's the same goddamn movie every time. But why was it so ubiquitous over 3 channels in the 40s and 50s to have 27 different shows going at the same time? And give me a break. I mean, they didn't do that for shits and giggles. They did it because it made them money. Because people fucking wanted to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Come
then
on now.
there was sound, and they were like, people are not going to want to listen to it.
They don't want to hear this bullshit. The horses never shut the fuck up.
And imagine the thinking there. Hollywood says people don't want to hear a Western. But this entire episode, I've been talking like this, and it's so hard not to talk like this because it sounds so damn good even in my own head.
It can be argued that there's not a different genre of film where the sound is such an integral part of what makes it good.
Mm-hmm.
All those classic Western sounds.
It's as tempting on this episode as anyone since Bowling to just have kind of like general Western town noises going on throughout this whole thing.
Sure. The shitty saloon pianos.
Sure.
Where it's like a revolving musical whatever the fuck it's called, musical reading. I don't know. I'm a musician. I don't even give a shit. And they're like, and some motherfucker shoots it, and suddenly it all sounds different.
Yeah. But then everybody likes it even more.
And and you hear that type of piano, it's boom, instant Western, instantly. Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Deadwood, it being my main reference point for Westerns. When there is a scene in Deadwood that is kind of a calm scene,
And it's just all the people in the town. It's nighttime. There's torches. Everybody's just drinking and carousing and having fun.
Yeah.
One of the brilliant things about that show is you really get to a point where you feel like you live in Deadwood and you are there with them on the thoroughfare. You're running into people. You're having a chat.
It's a real fucking set, too, by the way. It's not fucking green screen. God damn it.
Yeah, no, Deadwood was real.
Shooting green screens.
And, assuming I could avoid all the troubles, man, I'd like to live there in those times. It seems so great.
It really would be, man.
I don't know how that directly related to what you just were saying before I started talking.
What the fuck did I even say? I don't know.
I don't know. I think we're both just feeling that, we're feeling the burden of it right now. This modern life, this podcasting, complicated. Great shot.
Yeah,
and, we're the fastest yucks in the West, but
fastest yucks in the West.
Sometimes maybe you just want to retire out to the plains.
Yep.
Where there's nothing to do but think.
Yep. I mean, I always go back. I mean, like in this way of thinking, it's always like we think this way because of exactly what we're talking about, the way that Westerns portray it may have been. But then you read a book like Blood Meridian, and it's like, oh god, it's like an unforgiving, brutal, fucking barren landscape.
Yeah.
Like, it actually might have been so fucking terrible, really.
It certainly was terrible for everybody, least of all for a couple of white dudes. But even for us, not good.
But, again, the fact is that there's no bullshit. It's very, what happens, and you're fucked, or you can fix it, or whatever else. It's just right in front of you, and it's you can put your fucking hands on it.
It's
as
earthy.
opposed to this fucking world we got now.
It's earthy. It's got texture.
Sure, yeah. It's gritty. It's in your teeth. You're wiping it off your fucking brow.
Yeah. No. I almost feel like we're getting too lost in just that we love Westerns so much.
They're all right.
They're pretty good. I want to read a quote from Deadwood. Kind of my ultimate goal for this episode is just to get people to watch Deadwood, I think.
I mean, Western has not ever been done better, and it's not even negotiable. It's the best piece of Western media and Western media.
Ah.
Really. I mean, it's just phenomenal. So
this will be a quote from the aforementioned Wild Bill Hickok, played by Keith Carradine. And Wild Bill's talking to his friend Charlie Utter. And Charlie Utter has been telling Bill, like, we're starting over in a new town, and you just seem like you're falling into old habits. You're just gambling all day, doing nothing but playing poker. You're just going to get yourself into trouble just like you always do.
Hey, Bill, stop gambling all the time, man.
Perfect, Charlie Utter.
Thank you.
And Wild Bill's response to that is this. Some goddamn time a man's due to stop arguing with himself. Feeling twice the goddamn fool he knows he is because he can't be something he tries to be every goddamn day without once getting to dinner time and not fucking it up. I don't want to fight it no more. Understand me, Charlie? And I don't want you pissing into my ear about it. Can you let me go to hell the way I want to? And that's Deadwood. Every line is as crisp and excellent as that. And that is Westerns.
So
Who
good.
among us makes it to dinner time without fucking it up? And in a Western, they ate real early.
That's true.
Dinner time was about 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's not so bad.
It's about the same time down in Florida with all them retirees. But
Surfing cowboy.
yeah, man.
T-shirt.
Westerns are very human.
Yeah.
They appeal to what we would like to think being a human is the best mode to be it.
Yeah.
A free, open land where it's all up to you. It's all up to you to, a very stark moral, ethical lines drawn, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Very picturesque in that way, of course.
Yeah.
Very, very appealing.
Could there ever be any genre of media that a horse would hate more than a Western? Or do they like...
Gives them work.
Gives
They're
them
like,
work.
Hey, I'm glad these Westerns are going. Yeah.
Back on the Klopcast.
Somebody should make a Western, actually, where they're all on mopeds instead of horses. Let's ride out, y'all. Little rear view mirrors.
They whip the moped.
Oh yeah, of course. And they're riding a moped. And there's the bad guy.
I like
That'd
it.
be cool.
I like it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's like a bus system in the Wild West, and they just ride the bus. Yeah.
$1.25. Thanks, partner. Oh hell, there's bandits on this bus.
So shootouts on the bus. Just ricochets. Yeah.
Hang on, the Liberty Bank's right there. Ding! Stop requested.
Ride a bus out into the sunset at the end of the movie.
And it takes a long time for it to circle down because the bus has to keep making stops.
Makes all the stops. Yeah. Films are for entertainment. Films take us out of what we got. Take us out of our life. Take us out of the reality we have right now. And it's a story, of course. And Westerns maybe it's as close as you can get to a story existing in a vacuum, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can take all the elements of any story, like you alluded to earlier, with mythical stuff like that, even, and it just places it in this open plain without a government overseeing everything.
Yeah.
Without the implements of industrial society that forces us into these lanes and channels and avenues that we are beholden to against, even if we didn't want to be, where we're stuck in it. Not so in the world of a Western movie, not so.
Yeah.
So it just opens everything up. And
it opens it
focuses things more on our choices and actions.
It opens it by closing it, because it's going to take place within this specific geographic area, within this specific frame of time, where there were these specific amounts of things people were able to do.
Which it speaks to it even more, in that those limitations are so open to us as we view them now, because it's all so fucking closed to us now.
Yeah.
So it even seems it's like we can fly anywhere, we can move anywhere, we can see anything.
But we can't ride a horse anywhere.
Well,
there are so many places now you cannot ride a horse.
Of course, but
most
importantly, the choices you make mean so little compared to that the meaning is what, we can take an airline ticket to anywhere and like know all this shit and go everywhere and stuff, but the meaning itself of what the things we think and do and say is what is so constricted Limited sunrise that a cowboy rides into at the end of the film.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the possibility of choices that don't exist in our world.
And
Because
that beauty
what can you do?
in a Western, that beautiful sunrise,
Yeah.
it ain't blocked by no Starbucks.
Shootout at the Starbucks Corral. I have a latte.
I'm feeling like this is one of those episodes like New Metal, where we just are such passionate fans of the topic, where I don't know if we've even been funny this segment at all. We just love Westerns.
Yeah.
We love them. And they're Pinewood, obviously. They're just about as Pinewood as it gets.
Of course. Yeah. Well, it's just, I mean, Westerns really are a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like New Metal. They really are a phenomenon
Yeah.
where it's just like, there are so many periods in history of which media can be created portraying, but Westerns, like, take the cake as historical media that just hits the nerve so much, you know.
And like New Metal, not everything about the Western is good.
Sure.
And like New Metal,
A lot of bad.
there was once a Western that starred the Insane Clown Posse, and that is true. I've seen it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's very bad.
Yeah, I was about to say, that can't be good.
It's not. Because Westerns and New Metal are the same thing, as we've discovered here at the end.
Yeah.
Do we want to maybe hear Walter Brennan reading the lyrics to a Limp Bizkit song? Just to prove how good Westerns are. I'll pull them up and you do it as Walter
I
Brennan.
know the lyrics. I don't need them. It's one of those days. Don't want to wake up.
All right, yeah, let's go. We'll go with no help from the player piano, which is what that thing is called that you were trying to remember earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what the thing they put in it is called, but it is a player piano. So we love Westerns. We also love New Metal. We also are discovering that we love Walter Brennan. And so here's Walter Brennan performing Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit.
Well, Duke, it's just one of those days. You don't want to wake up. Everybody sucks. You want to justify ripping somebody's head off. What? Oh, okay, well, Duke, all right.
Don't stop.
It is one of those days.
I'm
Everybody.
back in a chainsaw. I'll skin your ass raw.
What? And do you skin your ass raw? Walter Brennan, everybody.
And we're the fastest yuck in the West. Maybe not this week, I don't know, but who cares? Westerns are great. Go watch Deadwood. This is the part of the sign off that I say.
Part of the sign off that I say.
Hey, this is Zac Caffrey,
This is Jason Ford.
and we're the hosts of Metaphiles, the podcast that you just finished watching and technically are still watching. And while you're here, if you could, just go ahead and like this episode, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment if you're so inclined. Maybe the comment could be about, and then it'll say whatever the topic was that week. So this, say that.
Metaphiles.